Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the life of Anakin Skywalker in between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So as Anakin grew, his exceptional skills made him cocky, but he nevertheless idolized Obi-Wan, thinking there is no one better than his master. Having given up his life with his mother and lost Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin clinged to his master, not wanting to lose him. Throughout his first year as a Padawan, he had a habit of sleeping on the floor next to Obi-Wan's bed, wanting to ensure his mentor would not vanish in the night. Obi-Wan sometimes awoke at night and saw this. During one of their many adventures, he also rescued Obi-Wan after he fell into a nest of Gundarks. Shortly after becoming Obi-Wan's Padawan, a surge in overwhelming emotions shut Anakin off from the Force entirely. This was able to give Anakin temporary relief from his worries and fears for a time, but he soon realized that avoiding the Force was not the answer, and he reconnected to the Force. During his time as Obi-Wan's apprentice, Anakin was distrustful of teachers who corrected him, wondering if they were trying to help him or simply put him in his place, knowing that many had not wanted him trained in the first place. Even so, there were many Jedi who had faith in him, seeing his potential. Anakin and Kenobi were at one point joined by Jedi Master Shaak Ti for a complicated mission to Nara Sheev. In addition to struggling to control his emotions, he found it hard to make friends, as his fellow Padawans were all aware of the rumors of him being the Chosen One. Often lonely, he generally spent his free time in his quarters, tinkering with machinery he found in trips outside of the Jedi Temple. He also harbored a lingering resentment towards the fate of his mother. Sometime after his enrollment into the Order, Anakin was meditating with his master, while also holding together many pebbles using the Force. However, when Master Tosin informed his master that he had a mission from the Council, Anakin's concentration broke to the surprise of him leaving again. The mission was to go to the planet Delanor, so that he could collect an ancient Jedi holocron from a dig site. Obi-Wan told Anakin that he would be back shortly, and that he would be training with Yoda in the meantime. Anakin, displeased, complained that he would have to be in class with little kids, and that he was far ahead of them in his training. However, he complied and spent time with the younglings, although he did not enjoy himself. However, after some encouragement from Yoda, Obi-Wan took Anakin along with him on the mission, in a T-6 shuttle. Anakin was glad that he finally got to be in space again, and he asked if he could pilot the shuttle. Obi-Wan told him that he could when they got closer to Delanor. Anakin asked what Obi-Wan's life was like before joining the Jedi Order. Kenobi told him that he did not remember, as he was taken at a very young age. Anakin, sadly, expressed that he was always a Jedi and nothing else. Kenobi tried to reassure him by telling him that he still needed to train and was a Padawan when they both met. However, Anakin was unconvinced and stated that his life was already set out for him, and he was not anything else, unlike him who was a slave. He concluded that this must be why the Jedi Council said he was too old to be trained. Obi-Wan tried to reassure him again by saying that the Council was not perfect, and that Qui-Gon Jinn chose him just like he chose Obi-Wan. Anakin, angered, proclaimed that Kenobi's master was dead, and now he was stuck with him. Before Obi-Wan could reassure Anakin, he walked away. Upon arriving on Delanor, Obi-Wan and Anakin encountered a female Togruta archaeologist named Clatterife. She was glad that they arrived so that they could take the holocron away, due to the fact that it was causing problems. She explained that the local pirates wanted to get it, and she had to hire local guards to keep them at bay. Kenobi ordered Skywalker to stay outside and keep watch, while he and Clatterife went inside the facility to obtain the holocron. After they went inside, Anakin noticed that the pirates had arrived. Kenobi, Skywalker, and Clatterife went out to meet them, and were introduced to the Kyber riders and their leader, Hudso Shakru, who knew that the holocron was something important due to off-worlders wanting to get it. Obi-Wan stated that they had come in peace, but were willing to defend themselves. He activated his lightsaber. where Shaku ordered his pirates to attack him because he found the laser sword to be more valuable than the things that they dug up. Obi-Wan quickly disarmed the pirates, but while Anakin froze up due to the suddenness of the attack, Shaku captured him by placing his sword under his chin. He offered a trade, the boy for the lightsaber, but was taken down by Anakin using the Force to assault Shaku with small pebbles. With Shaku knocked unconscious and the pirates' weapons destroyed, they surrendered to the Jedi. On the shuttle home, Obi-Wan praised Anakin for his great work on his first mission. Anakin, however, exclaimed that he froze up and was not ready for a mission, even though he believed otherwise. Obi-Wan reassured him that it was he who was not ready. He asked how he could save his Padawan if he could not save his master from dying. Anakin, with renewed confidence, stated that they would save each other and that was what Qui-Gon would have wanted. Kenobi agreed, and then recalled that Anakin wanted to fly the shuttle. Anakin, in response, said yes. By the time he was 12 in 29 BBY, he had built his first lightsaber, and after its construction, Obi-Wan said to him, "Anakin, this weapon is your life." Like he had helped Kenobi before, Jedi Master Drellig helped Anakin train in lightsaber combat, with Skywalker learning a great deal from Drellig's unparalleled expertise. When Kenobi was assigned to study a dead star system that orbited a black dwarf, Anakin decided to join his master without permission, but fell asleep during the journey. Upon being found by Kenobi as he slept, Skywalker's mentor decided to bring him along for the mission, showing him the Dead Star before them as an example of why the Jedi needed to avoid attachment, because all things, even the brightest of stars, would pass on. That year, which 3 years had passed since the Battle of Naboo, Anakin sought to impress his peers at the Jedi Temple. During a training session, he defeated a training droid, which he had programmed to mimic the appearance of the Sith on Naboo. All the while, Mace Windu, Kenobi, and Supreme Chancellor Sheev Palpatine watched, the last of whom was very impressed. Sometime later, Anakin struggled to learn the skill of taming creatures when Kenobi told him that the Chancellor wanted to see him. The two arrived at his office, where Palpatine requested that Anakin accompany him on an errand, declining Obi-Wan's company. Left alone, Anakin escorted Palpatine to Club Kassakar in level 2685, all the while listening to Palpatine express concern for the situation on the subsurface levels of Coruscant. The inability of the Jedi to respond efficiently, and the corruption that plagued the Senate, such as Calandris, subtly and unbeknownst to Anakin, marking the beginning of his influence over him. At the end of the errand, Palpatine asked if Anakin was happy as he was. Though Anakin answered that he was, and that training to become a Jedi was all he ever wanted, it did plant a seed of doubt in his mind. Later, at the Jedi Temple, Anakin confided in Obi-Wan that he wished to leave the Order, feeling uncomfortable at the prospect of his entire life being decided when he was only 9 years old, and surrendered his lightsaber to his master. Though Kenobi took the weapon, he pleaded for Anakin to reconsider. Before Anakin could give his definite answer at Yoda's behest, both student and master responded to a mysterious distress signal from the supposedly dead world of Carnelian 4 that specifically called for Jedi intercession. They began their journey to the coordinates, but their shuttle was damaged due to the planet's atmospheric debris field, and the two had to eject from the doomed vessel, landing on the surface below. Not too long afterwards, they came to be aware of life on the planet as a sky battle raged over them, and Kenobi returned his lightsaber to him so that he could defend himself. As one of the combatant airships began to fall, Anakin and Obi-Wan saved its two-person crew by delaying the crash. The two survivors, Kalara and Mother Pran, who identified themselves as Open, knew nothing about what a Jedi was. They were forced to take cover when a closed airship, which Kenobi fell. Anakin saved its pilot, Grecker, from falling to his death. But due to the historical feud between their factions, Grecker and Pran tried to murder each other, forcing Anakin and Obi-Wan to destroy their weapons and escort them to safety. To facilitate their journey, they used the intact parts of each of their airships to form a new one in order to fly to their destination. During the conversations that ensued, Anakin mentioned his and Obi-Wan's purpose on the planet: to find the person who had sent the Jedi distress signal, which alerted Pran and Grecker to the location of the scavenger. During the journey, Kalara told Anakin about the mysterious kites, before noticing that he was good at fixing things, as he made an adjustment to his lightsaber. Kalara and Pran then had Anakin repair a bag of droid brains, and seeing his usefulness, threw away his lightsaber and abducted him when a horde of fishers attacked the ship, leaving Kenobi alone with Grecker as the airship crashed below the Caladan Sea. Anakin was taken to one of the open fortresses, where he witnessed Pran using the processors he had repaired to activate some battle droids. As they left to wage war on the mysterious scavenger, he reminded both Open and Closed of everything they had lost and how badly they had failed. Anakin remained with the younger Open, whom he convinced to protect the scavenger and help him get back to Obi-Wan. Using their help, Anakin fixed the remaining droids and intervened in the skirmish between the Open and Closed unfolding right next to Sarah's fortress. He saved his master from Mother Pran and met with Kalara and Sarah. But rather than try and stop the fight, Obi-Wan and Anakin repair a communications unit and called the Republic for aid. Soon enough, a task force arrived and forced the natives to cease hostilities. In the aftermath, his master offered Anakin his lightsaber, asking if he was still adamant about leaving the Order, but Anakin decided to remain. Sometime after his and his master's mission, Anakin and Obi-Wan were about to spar in the Jedi Temple training grounds, when Anakin asked his master why the Jedi used lightsabers as opposed to any other weapon powered by kyber crystals. Upon hearing this question, Obi-Wan used the Force to take Anakin's weapon, and told him how when he was young, Obi-Wan had the idea for two short lightsabers to be connected by a chain. Upon revealing this tidbit to his apprentice, Kenobi told him the same thing Qui-Gon had told Kenobi, that wielding a lightsaber shows intent, and that the user put thought behind wielding the weapon before drawing it, enforcing the idea that Jedi are protectors as opposed to destroyers. At some point after the mission, Anakin was being tested by Obi-Wan, who was having the Padawan attempt to defend from a group of marksman-age training remotes, using a wooden stick rather than his lightsaber. In the presence of Yoda, Windu, and Master Bant Aaron, when Skywalker used the Force to grab his master's lightsaber, completing the trial using it instead, he and Kenobi began to argue with each other, which made Yoda, Windu, and Aaron walk away. As Kenobi left with a team of Jedi Temple guards, investigating a disturbance in the Force, he ordered Anakin to remain and clean up. Disobeying Obi-Wan and riding down to the Temple storage level by using two training remotes to travel through the Temple's vents, Anakin followed the Force to the training stores, where he was attacked by the cause of the disturbance, a team of battle droids. As the droids and Anakin fought, the Padawan was forced to use the Force and electro blades he found in a nearby box, as Obi-Wan had taken his lightsaber after his training maneuver. However, Obi-Wan and the guard team quickly arrived, giving Anakin back his lightsaber and joining the fight, only for Anakin to leave upon having a Force vision about the council chambers. Rushing to the council chambers and past a seemingly knocked-out guard, Anakin was held back as a masked enemy, disguised as a temple guard, attempted to kidnap Yoda himself, with Anakin failing to catch up the escaping enemy on a jetpack. After being returned to the council chamber after the jetpack failed him, Anakin reported what he had seen, with one temple guard finding the seemingly unconscious guard to actually be a disguised battle droid. When Anakin spotted a non-Techno-Union logo on the droid's head, Obi-Wan and him traveled to the temple's archives, where they learned it was the symbol of the Nova Crime Syndicate. Traveling to the Syndicate's base operations on the Wheel space station, albeit in disguise to not disrupt the uneasy truce the Jedi held with its Baron Administrator Jaspera, the two Jedi located whom they believed to be Gurnask Sandberg, the leader of that Nova Syndicate, with their mind tricks appearing to work, the supposed criminal gave them new information that pointed them to the planet Glee Anslem, where they encountered several aquatic battle droids and found the fake temple guard's underwater base of operations. Upon finding Yoda trapped in the base within a thick seaweed and besting the fake temple guard, Kenobi allowed Anakin to unmask their foe as thanks for noticing the Nova symbol on the battle droid back at the temple. Upon unmasking the enemy, however, Anakin and Obi-Wan were shocked to see it was Aaron. Their confusion was only increased when Sandburge arrived, only to reveal himself to be a Force sensitive and then remove his mask, showing himself to actually be Windu in disguise. When Skywalker realized the entire adventure had been a test, Yoda easily freed himself from the seaweed and confirmed Anakin's theory, revealing it was a test for Anakin and Kenobi both. Having seen how well they could work together instead of arguing, Anakin and Obi-Wan began to view each other as brothers. To leave the world, the two lifted their shuttle off the seabed together. Later, Anakin was waiting for his master in one of the Jedi Temple's training areas, where he gazed out the window until Kenobi joined him for a sparring session. After exchanging light-hearted remarks with his master, whom he had started to think would not be coming, Anakin and Kenobi began their duel, during which Anakin showed extreme aggression. Kenobi warned his Padawan that the fighting style was antithetical to the Jedi mission to protect life, but Anakin, certain his aggression would win him the duel, rebutted by claiming mercy was no way to defeat an enemy. He continued his aggressive strikes until Kenobi was backed into a corner, where he locked sabers with his master and demanded he admit defeat. Instead, Obi-Wan slipped away when Anakin raised his blade and inadvertently created an opening. The duel carried on as Anakin again continued to beat Kenobi back until he knocked his master's lightsaber away, which Anakin took as a sign that the duel was over. However, Obi-Wan noticed his Padawan was blinded by his need for victory, telling him as such before continuing the duel without a lightsaber. Obi-Wan managed to get behind Anakin and use the Force to claim his lightsaber as his own, using it as proof that Anakin's need to prove himself would always keep him back. While admitting his Padawan was a great warrior, he told his apprentice he would never advance to become a Jedi Knight if he failed to overcome his need to show his worth. Anakin was given back his lightsaber, who smiled at his apprentice after his warning. Anakin then followed Obi-Wan out of the room, both men remembering the training sessions for years to come. At some other point, Anakin and Obi-Wan were also involved in a mission in Terrace, to which Anakin worked on the Razbellan high encryption comlink. But that is all we know about what happens between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones for Anakin Skywalker. So what'd you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. It would really mean a lot to me. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a good one.